PG-13, a.k.a. Paul George. Somebody in our comment section, shout out to our great comment section, said they are thrilled watching our videos because we regularly put Paul George on the thumbnail.
Give him the respect he deserves. He's on this 2K17, right?
Yeah,
he's on that
it's a
one.
good year for Paul George, and there's no 2K17 curse, at least I don't think. So I hope not.
Let's hope not. I mean, that guy
favor.
suffered his own fair share of curses already. Let's not add to another one.
Like they used to say about Sean Livingston, a bomb went off in Sean Livingston's knee, a bomb went off in everything lower than his ankle, or actually all of his leg. It was bad. We're not going to show it. I did make Francis come in and cover that story on a Saturday afternoon. Before I was ever doing on-camera stuff, Francis was like, why do I have to do this again? This is really, really painful to watch.
Took me 2 days to... Actually, it was so painful to watch.
Studio.
It was so painful to watch that I actually called his fibia his femur, which is a very large bone in the top half of your leg, which apparently I thought was the lower half of his leg. So Jason made me look like an embarrassment in the anatomy field.
Connected to the... Come on,
yeah, I got it.
The
yeah.
song.
I should have just went, it was his leg. Cover all bases.
So Paul George believes he's ready for LeBron James. He is ready to challenge him on an individual level in the Eastern Conference and on the team level. So we're going to have two quotes, all taken from Yahoo Sports in the vertical. In terms of what Paul George had to say, here's the first that runs right into the second. Honestly, I look at us challenging them, talking about the Cavs and the Pacers. I've been in the East and I've been #1 with LeBron being on a team. He means that he's the #1 player on his team. Really what I'm looking at is it coming down to me getting us past the conference finals. I'm confident in myself. I'm confident in what I could do. He continues to say later in the article, which, again, definitely worth a read, I've always matched up with him, James, like I know he can do this, I know he can do that. Not in an all fashion, but it's more so I'm not supposed to win these games. This is supposed to be the best dude in the NBA. I'm trying to challenge him. I know what I'm up against. Now it's I'm ready for you. I'm a veteran. I know you. You know me. Let's meet here. Let's get this job done. I'm prepared. I've had time to figure this out. I've had time to lick my wounds. I'm ready. I really like this quote from Paul George. I think it's a great motivation factor. I like that he's not just outwardly saying, I'm better than you. Mm-hmm. He just feels like the culmination of his career, he's like entered his peak, and now it's his time. It's hard not to root for Paul George.
I have like 0.000 minus 00% problem with this quote. Like I really just don't have any problem with what Paul George is saying.
Can you make it a little more controversial?
Again,
what's like a 90% problem with this quote? What would that be?
Oh, the 90% problem would be that he is not in awe of LeBron James. Because you got to be in awe of LeBron James. No, I'm just pulling out. I'm pulling out something.
Headline,
I don't know.
Paul George, not in awe of LeBron.
That would get, but people will try to take it out of context. The same thing that happened in the comment section with the Michael Jordan, LeBron James clip, where he's like, I'm chasing this ghost, and people freaked out. You're never catching that ghost. There's no possible way that you're going to be able to catch him. I have no problem with Paul George saying this because what would you rather him say? What would you rather him say in this? Yeah, I just think he's so good. I'm going to try, maybe, a little bit of lady luck on my side. We could possibly beat him. No, he knows that he's got what it takes. He knows he's got the quality.
The media wants, for the most part, what the media would want Paul George to say is LeBron's a little bitch. That's really what they would want because, the controversy and it's a call-out in the rivalry. Instead, and here's an interesting thing that I've been following with the NBA now for a couple years, and a lot of people have already caught on to this. I was far later than anybody else was, so I'm not going to give myself any credit because I don't deserve any. NBA players, the leaders of each team, are friends with each other, which is extremely rare in many sports. While you see occasional bromances in baseball and football and in all sports.
Badminton.
In badminton, you have fantastic shuttlecock bromances with each other. It's the name of the piece of equipment. However, in the NBA, they're all Chris Paul and LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and Carmelo Anthony. Then you have Steph Curry and KD and Draymond Green and Paul George now, and Paul George is getting close. Myles Turner. They're all friends with each other, which again creates less of a tense rivalry across the league, which is necessarily not great. However, Paul George in this instance, you're being likable, and I guess for the most part, there's a lot of fans out there that want players to be less likable to create more villains, which is important enough, which is what Kevin Durant basically did to himself, so that's fair. He's going to take it for the whole league, and continue that narrative, because the villain narrative usually creates bigger headlines, bigger ratings. The friend narrative creates nothing.
Yeah.
So Paul George, it's not like he said anything soft about this. I just find it that he is in complete. He believes now is his time. It's the Pacers' time, and guess what? Based on what they did this offseason, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
It could very well be a Cavs versus Pacers Eastern Conference Finals, or if they meet before that somehow, depending on the standings work out, that would be a captivating finals. 3 years ago, they were right up there as the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, the Indiana Pacers.
I think that there's always a gravitational pull in the NBA. I think it's a very unique sport where one player has the ability to influence a game more so than any other one player in their respective sport, because of course the limited amount of players that are on the court at the one time. LeBron James can run up one end, dunk it on everyone, and then go the other end and provide one of the most mesmerizing blocks you've ever seen. So I think that it's completely fair to be drawn into watching these guys play against each other without that needed rivalry that other sports need. They need the Josh Norman and Odell Beckham Jr. to go back and forth to each other, right? That causes hissy fits and fights against kicking nets. But what we do like to see in the NBA is that competitiveness. Like that friendship, yeah, you can be friends with someone, but as we see with LeBron and Draymond Green and Steph Curry and LeBron perhaps, is like, yeah, they can get in each other's face and they can get upset because that's what the sport provides. It is competitive. You can be best friends with someone. I have had many a heated arguments back and forth with my friends on the football part because friendships don't carry over onto those lines.
I get angrier at my closest friends than I do any enemy I've had. I get more mad in arguments with any close friend than I ever would with somebody I don't even know or have a rivalry with.
I agree with that.
Do you have a rival?
A what?
Do you have a rival out there? Do you have an enemy? Do you have one person?
Piker.
That's true. You guys should follow the Piker versus Maxwell rivalry. I do every day. I try to keep them in check by trolling them, which is not really a good thing because no one should be trolling anybody. All right, make sure to comment below. It is true. 2013-2014, the Pacers were the number 1 seed. They had a better record than the Heat, 56 wins to the Heat's 54. Just dig it out of the memory bank, Jason. At France_Maxwell, at JasonGruber91. We'll see you next time.